it that on March 9, that time it was supposed to be March 1st or March 2nd. March 2nd before he said people are going to march. We're going to march for Seyi Makinde and there's going to be a victory. How confident were you, even months to the elections, to know that that was a certain victory in the bag for the PDP?
Thank you, Adedapo. I remember that I also mentioned in that particular interview that we have conducted series of opinion polls to get feedback from the people, from the electorates, not from politicians now, from the electorates, and we know where they tilt. They were tired of the incumbent government. They want change, positive change. Hunger, like Engineer Seyi Makinde would say, has no tribe, has no religion. If you are hungry, you are hungry. And a hungry man is an angry man. So when hunger becomes our common enemy, it does not matter the religion or the tribe. Everybody wants to kick out hunger.
So people come together because now it's a collective problem that they're trying to solve.
If you don't want to die and you are starving, you end up dying. So in the face of intimidation, in the face of threats to their lives, people came out. Look at Lagos State. What was the turnout? Relatively low. Ogun State, relatively low. But in Oyo State, our people defied all the threats. They came out. It was not just PDP battle. The people came out. The people stood by their votes. That's why Engineer Seyi Makinde rightly described it as a revolution, like the time of Agbekoya, where people had to just fight to deliver themselves and liberate their generation. And to a large extent, it has also put the responsibility on us that, look, we have to perform and make the fight of the people worth it.
Okay, you are special advisor to the senator-elect for yourself, Dr. Mohammed Kola Balogun. And from that, how important was the victory of Dr. Mohammed Kola Balogun? How important was he a pointer to the governorship elections, knowing fully well that his win was about one of the most fantastic wins all over the country, because he dethroned a sitting governor. He made sure that he won a sitting governor for the seat, for the Senate seat. Most of the other governors won their seat back to the Senate, except in Oyo State, where a certain Dr. Mohammed Kola Balogun was able to make sure that the governor did not go to the Senate and he won that seat. So how much of a morale boost was that for the PDP going into the governorship elections? That okay, if we can have this victory, to see that Dr. Mohammed Kola Balogun was able to pull down the sitting governor, then it's very much possible for the PDP to take back Oyo State. How was that a pointer to the governorship elections?
Thank you. The Oyo South Senatorial District, number one, it has the largest number of registered voters among the 3 senatorial districts in Oyo State. 2, the incumbent governor is from Oyo South. All through the period of the campaign, I kept telling people that if there's only one senatorial district we have to win as PDP, if it is at least one, then that one must be Oyo South. If we had won Oyo North and only Oyo North, it would not have garnered enough encouragement for people to confront the governorship election. If that had been Oyo Central, maybe, but Oyo South, now, that is where the governor, the incumbent governor, comes from. That's where the APC candidate comes from. So you have defeated the 2 of them in their senatorial districts. You have defeated the incumbent governor in his local government at his polling unit. Now, that passes a kind of message to the people that, look, we can do this thing. If we had not won any senatorial seats in the next election, to motivate the people to come out again will have been difficult. If they have succeeded in suppressing the will of the people at the senatorial election, motivating them to come out again for this governorship election would have been a bit difficult. But because they did it at the senatorial election and we won the incumbent, they had a ray of hope that, look, if we come out again, these people, they have promised that they would help us to defend our votes. So they were hopeful. So they came out. So many of them were calling me after they have voted. Adi Dibo, protect Dibo. They were begging. That's the same way they begged. And they saw results for the Oyo South Senatorial District, because that was the most crucial. In Nigeria, we always, there is this natural feelings with every Nigerian that it is almost impossible to defeat an incumbent. So when you defeat an incumbent and you tell them that you still want to do something, I still want to defeat somebody else, they'd be, you know what you are talking about. You have done it before. So that's why we concentrated so much efforts on Oyo South. And of course, we brought somebody that was equal to the task, in terms of academic qualification, in terms of antecedents, in terms of, personality, his temperament, his character. So we have brought the best person for the job. So it was easy to sell. I tell people that, look, when you have a good product to sell, it also promotes you as a marketer.
All right, that promotes you as a marketer. When you look at this victory of Engineer Seyi Makinde at the polls on Saturday, he has rightly said it is the win of the people. The people have spoken and they have entrusted him with that mandate, and he wants to make sure that he delivers on that mandate. How much of the people factor? Is it 100%, or do you see PDP also getting it right in terms of the person that they fielded at the governorship election, that should there have been somebody else, maybe we would have had a different result? So how are you seeing the personality in terms of Engineer Seyi Makinde being a catalyst to that victory as well?
Well, Engineer Seyi Makinde is the catalyst and even the foundation for that victory. Because in Oyo State, the momentum and the acceptance of PDP in Oyo State was actually built around Engineer Seyi Makinde. Before Engineer Seyi Makinde crossed from SDP to PDP, nobody wanted PDP in Oyo State. Nobody liked PDP. It was like an unsurmountable task to say you want to go and win under PDP. But because we have an acceptable personality in Engineer Seyi Makinde, joining a party, the first few months of his joining the party, the focus of the media, as in the media team in PDP, is to project the personality above the party, to make the people look beyond the party and accept the personality. That, look, it doesn't matter the party. Then we're always telling people that, look, forget about party, let's vote for personality. And it worked. When they accepted the party, many of them, though reluctantly, when they accepted the personality, Engineer Seyi Makinde, many people reluctantly accepted the party.
Exactly.
So we now started building on it, trying to package the party and make the party acceptable in Oyo State. Yes, in Nigeria as a whole, but we're concentrating on our own Jerusalem. Look, this is our own state. Okay, so we made it acceptable to the people.
Honorable Johnson, based on this now, would you say PDP, Oyo State PDP, is now a totally branded package and they are ready to deliver like they are supposed to now? Having, you are to present a candidate that is acceptable, that had a good personality, but beyond the candidate, now that you have gotten the mandate, what is the overall welfare of the Oyo State PDP? Are they moving now beyond the candidate to say, this is about us now? We as a party, we are now the people that wants to do the right things and let you know that this is the foremost party to look out for in this state? Or do you still does the Oyo State PDP still want to just rest on, we have a personality that is making things work and we'll just leave it at that?
Leadership is all about motivating the followers to go on a particular journey of mutual benefit to all. You understand? So, Engineer Seyi Makinde, even before he won the election, his personality has rubbed up so much on the image of the party. That's why, to a large extent, the PDP of today is a peaceful political party. not the tag that we used to carry, the moral burden of violence that we used to carry in Oyo State. You don't see us go anywhere, no matter the crowd. Every average member of the party knows that, look, we have a leader that doesn't condone violence in any form. So no matter your own personal tendency towards violence, you know that when you are around this person, you know that you dare not display any measure of violence. So to a large extent, and of course, we call it Omituntun, that's the mantra, and it's a new dawn, a new era. And that's what every elected officer and everyone that will come in his team to come and work, that's the motivation, that's the goal. That look, we want to have a departure of what used to be. We want to set a new pace. Oyo State is a pace setter. We want to set a new pace. He kept all through the campaign, Engineer Seyi Makinde kept making reference to the days of Awolowo. That what are the new innovations? What are the innovations that we have seen in governance? That we say, that Oyo State is setting pace. We have to return to those days when setting up university, the premier university will come to Oyo State. Setting up the highest building in the whole of Nigeria then will come to Oyo State. Setting up, all these first, those days of first can still return because there are still a lot of things that needed to be done.
That needs to be pioneered. All right. Before the elections, a week to the elections, came a heavy dosage of politicking, coalitions here and there. We want to go on a short break now. When we come back on the Rotimi Johnson, I would like you to speak on the impact of the coalitions on the outcome of the governorship elections. All right, we'll go on a very short break now. We've been in the studios. We are just joining us with Honorable Rotimi Johnson, SA Media and Publicity 2, the Senator-elect of Oyo South, Dr. Mohammed Kolabalogun. We're going on a short break now. Please stay with us. Don't go anywhere.
You don't choose a leader because you like him. You choose a leader because he's capable. You don't have to like him. He's capable, that's all. You don't like him, so what does it matter? He's doing the job that he has to do, you don't like him, what does it matter? You choose somebody to a leadership position not because you like him and dislike him, only for competence. Competence is the only value. But unfortunately, in our country, we are going on like this, that we want our leader the way we want to love him. You don't have to love him, you just have to support him to fulfill what he has to do. That's a leadership position. Who he is good, he is bad, this is not your business. This is not your business, then you will do nothing fruitful in your life. You will go about making moral commentary about everybody. Nothing will happen in that kind of situation. A leader, we have chosen one human being to be a leader simply for his competence and nothing else. Other things are not your business.
All right, welcome back and still on Let Rise this morning. This is the interview segment, and we've been talking about the outcome of the governorship elections in Oyo State and the House of Assembly elections as well over the weekend. Of course, you know by now that Engineer Seyi Makinde of the PDP polled over 515,000 votes to emerge as the winner of the Oyo State governorship elections, and he was able to lead the candidate of the APC with more than 100,000 votes, and that's kudos to them. So we've been in the studios this morning with SA Media and Publicity to Dr. Mohammed Kolabalogun, the Senator-elect for Oyo South, and we've been talking about how PDP are going to fare in this new dispensation now that the people have entrusted them back with the mandate and how important it is for them moving forward. Now, before we went on the break, I talked about the coalitions that happened at the wee hours. Let me put it like that, because for something of four years, a week to go is the wee hours, and there were a lot of movements here and there, trying to bring everybody to my camp, your camp. The APC was able to strike a deal that people began to believe that, oh, this is the master stroke. They pulled the former governor of Oyo State, Alawa Akala. They were able to put him into their side and defected from the APP to the APC to say, okay, I'm going to form an alliance with them for the governorship elections. But the PDP didn't also sit back and relax. They also went after the ADC candidate, Senator Olufemi Lanley, and ZLP, Zenith Labour Party's candidate, Sarafaddin Aliyu, and also the candidate of the SDP, Bolaji Ayonide. How do you think these coalitions, how important do you think they played out in the outcome of the results?
Thank you. One thing we must first bear in mind, the 2015 election, Governor Ajimobi was re-elected by mere 32% of the votes. And all the opposition parties pulled about 64% of the votes, which means we had more people who didn't want Ajimobi to be re-elected,
exactly,
among the electors than those who wanted him back. It's just that the votes were scattered. That was what informed the coalition from the onset. You know, many of these people that also came back for this coalition, they were at one point in the last few months in PDP. That was what brought them together initially, that look, for us to be able to defeat this incumbent government, the major opposition parties must come together, so that rather than have scattered votes, we'll be able to pull our resources together and also pull our votes together, so that we will have the simple majority to defeat the incumbent. And after all the politicking and everyone went, to different political parties, at the crucial point after the first election, the strength have been tested. And we now saw, okay, in the interest of the people, because if you look at it, Baba Ladoja is not poor. Sarafaddin Ali, Oloye Sharafa, is not poor. Shivla Leyin, no. But at that point, they have to put their differences beside them.
Put the people of Oyo State.
They have to put the people first. It was not an easy compromise, because you must think from the perspective of a candidate to be able to understand what went into that. It's not usual of it's because he's superior to us. No, not because Engineer Seyi Makinde was superior to them, but they felt, okay, people love this man. It's not as if he has a burden. He doesn't have any liability as far as the electorates are concerned. Then he's in a political party that has enough strength. It is easier for us to back him to produce the desired results. And they took the commendable step. And when I saw it, I was so happy.
This is a fantastic one.
I
want to mention
now
this.
You were talking about how it helped the votes. You now look at the votes. For the first time, we have a candidate that is winning the election with over 500,000 votes.
Yes.
With over 50% of the votes, compared to when Ajimobi won the re-election. That speaks volume. Because the votes that will have gone to ADC, yes, they still pull some votes, but you understand that ADC ordinarily will have had more than 100,000 votes.
That's true.
Zenith Labour Party will have had more than 100,000 votes. So if Engineer Seyi Makinde has even won the election, it will have been less than 300,000 votes. And that would have pushed us to a runoff. The runoff election would have brought different bargaining, and who knows what will have happened. So they've took a major leadership decision, I mean the whole coalition team, that let's preempt and let's take a proactive action to prevent a runoff election. Anybody that, before the coalition, the eventual winner in any of the opposition party could have pushed the election to a runoff election. And with all this inconclusive, you will have given the reluctant incumbent opportunity to go for,
to be able to broker some deals,
and call it inconclusive or any other grammar that has not been discovered in our lexicon yet. So that is what played out. The coalition was a master stroke.
It was a master stroke. You talked about some major parties, talked about ZLP, Sarafadin Ali, and we all knew that he had his own followers. But I want to talk about Senator Rotimi Johnson, and because he was beginning to gain a lot of momentum towards the elections, towards the day of the elections, up until the time that the coalition came into place. Well, do you think it was the toughest nut to crack of all those people that were brought to the table? Because somebody who was that kind of, who was enjoying that kind of momentum. I know you are not a spokesperson, but was he the toughest person to crack of those major people that came together?
Well, I wouldn't know, but he said he came to the decision to support Engineer Seyi Makinde, even though it was not easy.
Exactly.
If you look at the coalition team, ADC had the next number of votes next to PDP, considering the National Assembly elections in Oyo State. So, ordinarily, as a candidate, you believe that with a little more effort,
yeah, you can push.
I can win the election. So, for him to have considered stepping down and endorsing another candidate, just whether easy or tough not to crack, we should just give him the kudos for taking that step, and even all of them.
All right, moving away from all that now, Engineer Seyi Makinde has now been elected as a new governor of Oyo State. But there are a lot of spots to look at, a lot of bright spots, and if they aren't well handled, they may prove otherwise. When you look at the issue, one of the major issues that ran the campaign of the last week, which was when APC was able to woo the number one politician around Dumosho side, which is the former governor of Oyo State, Chief Adebayo Alao-Akala. I'm talking about the issue of Lautech. So when you have that kind of issue there that needs to be solved, how does the new government want to approach things? Because these students literally decided we are going with Engineer Seyi Makinde because they believed if APC has been there for 8 years and they were not able to solve this issue, and the university got deteriorated. As a matter of fact, when PDP was there, they didn't have those issues. So they believe that PDP can give them back the glory of their school. How can this government, the new government, quickly move in swiftly to take care of that kind of problem? Because it became the dominating issue in the last couple of days to the elections.
Thank you. I can't say specifically how swiftly, but one thing I can tell you is that Engineer Seyi Makinde and his team, they are going to do everything possible to restore the glory of Lautech and make the school functional. There was a time in Nigeria that Lautech was the best state-owned university in Nigeria. And it was just a loss of focus that brought the incumbent government to stop funding Lautech. It was because if it's not loss of focus, I tell my friends that what's the difference between technical university and University of Technology? Is this not just nomenclature? There is no course that you want to run in technical university as this governor that you can't use your influence to introduce to the University of Technology. What are you talking about? Say that this the technical university is the first of its kind. That's ego trip. Let's focus on the important thing. This is a university that is already running. What do you have to do to make the students, keep them in school, improve on the status of the school, improve on the quality of the education, improve the life of the staff, Then if you need to bargain with the neighboring state, the co-owner, do everything possible. The school is situated within Oyo State, so we are an advantage to bargain. But for God's sake, the two states, they have the same political parties. They see themselves as brothers, yet they ignore the destiny of thousands of students and staff, and even those whose businesses were dependent on smooth running of LAUTECH.
Exactly.
That's why it became the major issue in the few days to the election, particularly after Otumba Adebayo Alao Akala sold out. Because this same man, a few days to announcing the campaign to APC,
He did a broadcast.
He had meetings with stakeholders in Ogbomoso, telling them how terribly APC has done, how bad it will be for Ogbomoso to go with APC. Then, but 48 hours later, you came out to tell them that APC is the choice. People found it difficult to harmonize the two personalities. The one that addressed them and even called, said on a live program that he will not follow fake, that he is bold. Now you are choosing to follow fake. So those were the things we as opposition then had to just build around. That look, this man said this, and this is what you people are feeling. But we also remember, even though Gina Seyi Makinde was not doing it then for political reason, when Fund LAUTECH started, he donated, and he was the single highest donor then. So these were things to just leverage on. That this man was not governor. This man was never had any political appointment. Yet he was passionate about education. He has been giving students bursary for over 12 years now. Even when he was not aspiring to be governor. He had a track record of humanitarian activities. So it was good to leverage on this thing. It was not like blowing his trumpet, because some of us will tell him that, okay, if you are not ready to blow your trumpet, we will blow it for you. Because we need to let people know how much you have done. We need to let them know that beyond this engineer Seyi Makinde they are all hearing, there is a heart of flesh, not heart of stone. And that's what people could connect with eventually, that look, this man has the good, he has good intention. He wants to do the best he could for the people.
Yes, Honorable Johnson, despite the widespread acceptance of the newly elected governor, Engineer Seyi Makinde, some people are skeptical that for somebody that has been spending on elections for over the years, doing a lot of philanthropy works all over the state and every other place you find them, some people are skeptical that now that we've elected him as governor, wouldn't he be looking at recouping some of the huge funds he has spent here and there? Are we sure this man is just going to use the fund of the state for the use of the state, or is going to gradually start getting back what he has spent? And as a member of the PDP, you have to shed some light on this because the people are listening.
I like that question so much. I've been looking for opportunity to be able to address that question. You know, it's not everyone that runs for office that is looking for pecuniary gain, for money. No. Some of us, we aspire for public offices because we want our names written in gold. We want to leave indelible mark in our generation. And money can buy that. I'm telling you, money can't buy that. You know, you just have to look at what is the motivation for this person. If Engineer Seyi Makinde, if he was doing all those things because he wants to recoup his money, he will have been fed up. He will have given up long ago. You're talking about someone that has businesses in 5 continents of the world. You're talking of somebody that returns tax annually in millions of dollars. How much is he going to recruit from Oyo State, for God's sake? But beyond financial benefit, there was this motivation. I keep making reference. I've done a lot of write-ups on this because I remember one of my write-ups, I call him the fourth year of government in Oyo State. Because as a media person in his team, I've been in a position to review many of the requests that come to him from different parts of the country, from particularly Oyo State. Requests for borehole, requests for bridge reconstruction, requests for this, requests for that, requests for loan. So many requests. And I know this man does his best. I'm not only talking about politicians now. He does his best to meet all. Now, what touches me most is immediately after he lost election in 2007, he commissioned a power project. The following week, do you say such a person is looking for money? Because if you're looking for money, after you have lost the election,
You will go and rest for it.
you forget. But immediately afterwards, he commissioned a power project in his village. I have been in his campaign, and he told a group of people that, look, on the 2nd of March, when the election is going to hold, whether I win or I lose, the following day after the election, come, I will give you a key to a bus. That's not someone that's looking for money. He's making his promises, he's making his commitments to people, not dependent on the outcome of the election. For somebody that wants benefits, he will tell you that, look, so that my money won't go to waste. After the election, if I have won, then come. But he spelled it out for whoever is interested in understanding such a person that, look, this is not about me. It's about leaving an indelible mark in my generation. People will say that in Oyo State, there is a man that walked through this generation in Oyo State
And has made this impact.
and has made this impact.
Very quickly, we're closing now, but I just want to touch on this. Out of the House of Assembly seats, 32 House of Assembly seats, PDP has swept 26 of them, APC 5 and ADP 1. How impressive is that, and how does that help the governance of the new government?
It does. In the recent time, I think the last time we had, I think it was the time of Governor Ladoja, all through the period of Akala and Ajimobi, you know that after the announcement of the election, the governor-elect will be running Esther Sketa to broker, some bargain for the structuring of the House of Assembly. But this time around, the governor-elect will not have to lose sleep about who is in the majority or in the minority, because it is well spelled. PDP is in the majority.
Exactly, and another very crucial thing that we have to touch now before we go is that a lot of these, a lot of people that were elected on the platform of PDP to the House of Assembly are very young. And as a matter of fact, there's a 26-year-old Adebisi amongst them. How wonderful is that for the PDP, fielding young people to go and become leaders even in the at the state level?
You should understand that the emergence of Engineer Seyi Makinde himself is a motivation for a lot of young people. He contested in 2014. In 2015, he was not yet 50 then. That was a motivation for a lot of youths. So when approaching 2019, and with this not too young to run bill, it was a major boost for a lot of youth. I had a lot of youth that contested that didn't succeed in picking the ticket of the party too. That look, if Seyi Makinde can do it, if Bayo Adelabutu can do it, if this can do it, that can do it, then I can do it too. And what we just did as a party is to encourage them. We don't have to run them down. We don't have to discourage. If you are up to the task, then come in. If you are up to the task, come. So a lot of them, we encourage them. And Engineer Seyi Makinde, he wants you to show forth what you've got. And if you are good in what you are doing, he will give you an opportunity to express yourself. So that's what he has done. He encouraged a lot of them. Not that he influenced their emergence, but he's not the kind that you will come to him, that you want to aspire to be something and he will discourage you. Go and let's see go and show what you've got. That's what he will tell you.
All right, great. Thank you, Honorable Rotimi Johnson, for exposing the expositions this morning on Engineer Seyi Makinde and PDP in Oyo State. I want to say a big congratulations again to your party.
Thank you
and
very
we look forward to a period, Oyo State is looking forward to a period of good governance and great things in Oyo State. Thank you once again.
When next I come, I want to talk specifically about Oyo South.
About Oyo South. No problem. We're going to bring you on that. As a matter of fact, you might be coming with your principal as well, because you need to have a comeback talk, because Dr. Mohammed Kolabalogun was here earlier, and he came out victorious. So I think you should come with your principal for another session. Thank you very much.
Principal can come and talk, and I will talk. I'm talking about my own now.
All right, maybe we'll talk about Rotimi Johnson.
Thank you so much.
We've been in the studios with Rotimi Johnson. Of course, you know he's not new to our studios here, and he is always at our beck and call anytime we need him to talk about the PDP in Oyo State. Thank you very much once again. This brings us to an end of interview this morning, and we're still saying Engineer Seyi Makinde is the new elected governor of Oyo State. Also in Imo State yesterday, Emeka Ihedioha of the PDP also emerged. This will bring us to an end of the interview. Thank you once again for joining us. I am Adedapo Araoye. Stay tuned for other segments. We are not going anywhere yet. We still have a lot of things to do. From me, thank you.